General MacArthur drops a atomic bomb.
All right, well, starting off for turn 5, the Soviets are building 6 tank divisions, 3 mechanized divisions, and 1 infantry division, and a tech die. They're going to go for the heavy tanks. So let's see if they can get it. And they don't get it. Over here in China, they're building, what is that, 9 infantry divisions, a destroyer, and a tank with 2 research dice. And they are going to go for the advanced R&D, try and unlock their tech tree. Unfortunately, they failed too. So no tech is gained for the communists this turn. So we will map out the attacks, and we'll get going and looking at what combat's coming up. All right, so going into combat, the Russians are trying to make this the end of the game. First, they're going to force this small fleet minus the transport through the Denmark Straits to come down and cut off the continent from England by severing the English Channel. They're sending their forces in West Germany again into France. Their forces in Austria are going to go into northern Italy. The Russian Mediterranean fleet is going to try and end the NATO fleet in the Mediterranean. And then in Asia, China's only real move is they're going to move 1 infantry division down into South Indochina. So that'll be an ultimate victory right there. So we'll get through these last big battles, and we'll see where the communists stand after combat. All right, so going over the results of combat, the Soviet fleet was able to get into Sea Zone 110 and cut off the continent from England. It was a fierce battle for France, and all the Allied forces were destroyed, but they also destroyed a lot of the Russian troops there, and only 1 sole Russian tank division survived the battle. The Soviets were also able to grab northern Italy and destroy the NATO fleet there in the Med. So the Allies are pretty much down and out as far as any fleets are concerned. And then real quickly, obviously China took South Indochina, and now we move on to the strategic movements and deploying the forces. But really quick, I'll just kind of show you. So this is the graveyard from France. This was all that everybody lost in the great battle before the Soviets were able to get their forces into Paris. So, and then this was sort of the losses that they took going into Austria. Not as much. They do have enough tanks there, though, that they can probably drive on southern Italy in the next turn. But so that is the results of the combat. Like I said, we'll deploy, we'll strategic moves, deploy, and count the IPC. So at the end of turn 5, the Soviets have deployed their forces in West Germany, have moved troops into West Germany, deployed in Germany and Poland. Their air forces on the Army of Germany marker, the Air Force moved from France, and they landed back in Germany. Didn't want to put them at risk of possibly being destroyed by this NATO army in Holland. And then over here in China, they're consolidating in Myanmar for the eventual assault against Malaya, fortifying their coastal defenses so that way they're not snuck up against again by the Allies, and preparing an army around Beijing to either go after the Americans in Amur, or even potentially there could even be an attack on Japan itself. So at the end of the turn, the Soviets collect 60 IPC and the Chinese collect 48 IPC. I mean, I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion, but it looks like this might be the end for the Allies. They might have to concede defeat to the communists in this game. All right, well, we'll move on to the Allies for now.